What do you feel the most guilty about? My mom had cancer when I was in high school. I would drink and smoke weed a lot to mask my pain. One night I came home all messed up and my mom asked me to lay with her in bed. I said no because I knew I reeked of alcohol and weed. 2 weeks later she died, and I still think back to that night every day wishing I agreed to lay in bed with her. Probably not spending enough time with people who matter. Life gets busy, and it's easy to let important relationships slide, which I feel guilty about. For not giving all of my love to the person I love until she gave up. I accidentally killed a cat in a dryer once. It was probably so comfy in there and Kitty was just taking a nap. One of the worst days of my life. Always check the dryer if you have cats. Eating way too much. Neglecting loved ones. Feel deep guilt over lost connections and missed moments. The way I treated my ex-girlfriend. Young, immature, I hurt her, broke her heart, ended it without telling her why. I've since apologized and told her that I regret it every day, but I still love her. Being a coward and cheating on someone who, although he was great to me, still didn't deserve that. The way that I fell out with my brother in 2018, which led to a difficult time for both of us. For me, mainly financially, but we managed to reconcile in 2022 and will likely make sure of it never fall out again. My failed education and career, making mistakes. I feel guilty for not calling my parents more often. I keep telling myself I'll do it tomorrow, but that day never seems to arrive. Almost got hit by a car driving by. It swerved partway up the sidewalk, then jerked back to the street. Cursed at the car and people who used their phones and kept walking. Later, after a few minutes of walking, I saw the car had hit a tree at like 20 mph. Fucked the bumper, and slightly bent the hood on the opposite side of the road. Called it karma and kept waking. Found out the next day via the news that it was an old man who had a heart attack while driving to the hospital because his daughter was in labor. Dude died in that car and was found a couple hours later. Don't know the timeline because I didn't even take a second look, but given we were like a mile away from the hospital, I wonder if I would have not been pissed and jumped to obvious conclusions and had called 911 if the baby would have got to know their grandpa. Everything. I was raised Catholic. Not trying harder to stop my BAL from sawing me. And for waiting too long to say anything. If I had spoken up sooner, she wouldn't have already gotten pregnant by him. Negative impact of divorce on kids. I was a bully to people that didn't deserve it when we were in school. I remember most of their names and think about them every once in a great while. Escaping row another city while my sisters are still in our childhood home with our shitty father. My whole being is filled with guilty feelings, many of which make no sense. My ruminations have subsided a bit since my doctor put me on a mild antidepressant. My most intense guilt feelings come from when I was sexually abused by neighborhood kids and made to feel shame about it by my relatives. Not saying money for my future,